don't know. There's something so solitary about being a comedian that you start to be this little dictator in your life. So like when someone disagrees with you, you're just like, silence. You know, you can't go that route. But like I got in this huge debate with Nia. Somebody had sent me this thing on Twitter about some woman in Cosmopolitan, right? She got married at 24. It was warning women to get a prenup. She got married at 24. 24, what do you got? You got student loans and a dream. That's all she had. And she got married. So, and she married this guy who has like a master's degree, well-educated guy and everything. Well, and long story short, she blows up. She wrote like, I'm not going to name the movies. I don't want to out the, even though they put in the thing, but she wrote like, these 3 really fucking funny movies. And now she's writing Cosmo and all this stuff. Like she blew up, blah, 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 blah. They grew apart and now they're getting a divorce.
Right.
And the lawyer said, well, he's probably going to ask for alimony. And she's like, there's no way he's going to make that big of a pussy move. There's no way he's going to do it. And, of course the guy does it. And then she's just like, and she's angry. She goes, every month when I have to write him this check for like $6,000 or something and blah, 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 blah. And the whole time I'm reading the article, I'm like, I agree with every fucking thing this person's saying. That guy is a pussy, the whole thing. But what pissed me off was she made it a gender issue where she said, women, watch out for this. And my wife just couldn't see that. And I was like, I think it was astoundingly ignorant to try to take something like that, and considering most of the time it affects guys. Guys are the ones getting, they always sit there and they go, hey, a woman gets 77 cents for every dollar a guy makes an hour. It's like, yeah, but you make it up on the back end during the divorce.
Right.
But I don't think that should be right. But this is the deal. Like, no guy is ever going to get on TV complaining about alimony. You're just another guy bitching about alimony. But she could actually make a difference. If a woman got on TV and actually just said the divorce laws out here in California are absolutely insane. They are insane.
Right.
She could actually, you would be hard pressed to think of a show like those types of show that she couldn't get on. And instead, all she does is write an article and she warns women. And,
but now I hear you.
And we got in this big beef where she was just like, well, why do you feel she has to give you your comeuppance? I'm like, there's no comeuppance in this. And I actually said, you know what? This is actually my fault because of all the bad shit I've said about women. That's all you're hearing right now. And I'm not saying it. She's 100% right. That guy is a fucking pussy. It's even worse when a guy does it to a woman. I know it's a double standard, but get a fucking job. I swear to God, dude. I joked. I said if I was married to Oprah, okay, and she's making $1 billion. If she came home and she fucking bought me a car, I tell her to take it back. I'm not as a man. I'm not driving down this street.
I don't agree.
My wife bought this for me. Auga.
I don't agree with that part of it, but I agree with everything else you said. And what's interesting to me is what separates us from the other guy, because we get worked up about it. That's the difference. You and I read that kind of article and go, a point needs to be proven. I need to walk across the room to the person I live with and prove that this is wrong, and we can't let it go. Whereas a million other people would just...
100% agree with me, then I can't let it go.
Yeah.
Dude, it turned it. We were at the airport and we debated it the entire way from the airport. It's like an hour and a half fucking drive all the way to right when we went to bed. And then she finally understood what I was saying, and then she agreed with me. And I probably said it was a combination of me not making my point clearly and all of the shit that I've said through the, all the years of knowing her was already, she already has a preconceived notion of who I am, as I do her.
Right.
And I know what sets her off and that type of thing. But like, but getting back to that point, dude, you are like not accepting a car from Oprah if you were married to her. There's no fucking way I could do that. I'd have to pull my own weight for the simple fact, because basically as a guy, like your job is to provide. So if you're with a woman and they have the kids, they can have the kid. I mean, you're there for you're there for the opening 5 minutes of the movie, and then they bring the whole thing home. That's what they can do.
Right.
All right. And so your job is you can provide. If they're making more money than you, they're like a self-contained unit. They're providing for themselves and they're having kids. So at that point, you're like a teenager. You're just like this 45-year-old teenager, and she comes home and buys me a fucking car. Like, I'm not saying that I couldn't handle being with a woman who's making more money than me, but it's like, you're not going to go out and buy me a bunch of nice shit. And I'm like fucking like, some evening gown, like laying on my stomach on a fucking piano.
Now here,
Diamonds, singing Diamonds are a girl's best friend, you know?
now here's the,
Like some kept woman. Fuck that.
here's the funny thing.
I don't think women should do that either, but like,
I disagree with what you're saying right now.
because you're a mooch.
And it relates to what we're talking about, because why is there a thing in me where I can't just go, it's Bill's opinion, I don't care, I don't agree with it. I'm sitting here right now going, no, he's
I
wrong.
don't want you to
He's
agree
wrong.
with it. I want to hear your opinion. What do you have?
No, and
You don't have to yell. I'm right across this little
it
table.
It depends on the dynamic of the relationship. Sure, if there's, I believe it should be a team and it should function like a team. So if your wife is going to have kids and she's going to be the person there raising the kids, nurturing the kids, and all that stuff, then yeah, go out and be the guy bringing home the bread, make her life easier, and it's a team at that point. If you're just two people that aren't having kids, and she gets a little more successful than you do, and she wants to throw you a car, yeah, that's part of the equality of the sexes. You know, it's like it's got to be
No,
all
it's
or
not a
nothing.
part of the equality. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with me as a human being. Like, I don't want to be like if I have a car, I want to be like, I paid for this thing.
Of course.
This is my, like, I bought this thing. I want to be pulling my weight.
We all want to, but I think that's more about like, if I bought you a car, you'd be like, get this car out of here, as your friend. I don't think it's a matter of my wife and I'm not a man. I think it's a matter of, I just don't feel right driving a car.
Dude, just like if you have
pays
like
me.
a fucking suit and you look great in it, and your wife bought you all your whole fucking wardrobe. I mean, at that point, I might as well put some heels on and just be some floozy walking down the street. Why do you work so much? How come we can't go to the movies? I mean, I would, the amount of wood that I would have to chop to just try and still feel like a fucking man. And I wish there was a woman right
that's
here.
your fear. I think that's your fear thing.
Where they would sit there and go like, well, this is a sexist thing where you like don't feel that a woman should make more money than you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if I was with a woman that was making more money than me, you know, she's already bought the giant fucking house. There's no way you're buying me all this other shit. Like, I'll pay for the NFL Network. I have to bring something to the fucking table. I actually think that that's a good quality I have, where there's a bunch of people out there who don't share my genitalia that would have no problem sitting in the house like a fucking house cat, laying in the goddamn sun as I'm out there slaving away.
But let's
No, but at the end of the day, the thing that she can do is she can actually, you know, I can't even say they make a baby. She can sit there and tough it out as
oh boy,
as much. They're not doing it. That's the thing. It's not like
All
you're
right.
making a pie.
But I
you
think
sit there, you get banged, and then let me
Jesus.
explain what happens. And then what happens is my stuff swims up the river there, hopefully gets through before the dam closes. It's like an action movie. That one person who rolls underneath and then everybody else is on the other side. Open it up, open it up.
I think this goes
That's
back
the
to your
first
fear
10
thing.
pages. That's the first 10 pages of your script, Joe.
That's script writing
Yeah.
101. I think this goes back to your fear thing. And Bill, fear leads
I
to
think it goes
hate.
back to your ass.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Did you know that?
Hey, Joe.
That's from Star Wars.
I'll tell you this right now, Joe. Can't lives on Won't Street.